pole position though, it's Ian Richard Burns in his Ginetta G50. Ian Richard Burns this morning in qualifying, setting a very impressive time with that car. Alongside him, the front row of the grid is Mark Paul in his BMW. Mark Paul, who has been on a very fine form all weekend in the invitation class, particularly in the Seika Challenge, but that really is just set him up in terms of track knowledge for the Euro Saloons and Sports Car Champ for a few seasons thereafter. The late 1990s, early part of the 2000s, so Falcon on the side of the really good position, also typically against Stephen Brooks in his against Stephen Brooks was formidable in full finals, just 50 yards across in the last lap of the session to move up into sixth position. Unfortunately, Ilse not there. 10th on the grid is the immensely powerful Subaru of Ian Froggatt. It will be a rolling start and a 20-minute race, so the pace car is just leading the field now through Coram Curve, and then we are really going to get some thunder unleashed once those red lights go out in the field, surge up towards Riches for the first time this the first two races this afternoon from the RSCC European Sports Car Championship, and then you have one further race to go this season, and that is going to be Silverstone in a few weeks' time. So again, they are getting very much towards the sharp end of their championship. The pace car here, Exit Palmer for the first time, the leading duo trying to put a bit of daylight between themselves and Mark Paul. And yes, it is John Wilson, who has found his way now past BMW, and Craig also making good progress. We have got Peter Chalice as well. It means that Richard Hawken has had a bit of a moment somewhere, and Richard Hawken has slipped somewhere down the order as Ian Froggatt, where the Subaru has come up well. So Stephen Brooks possibly one of the early losers. Now, have we lost Richard Hawken together? No, we haven't, but he is there pretty much marred in the midfield as the leading duo turn through Williams and on to Bentley Straight for the first time, with Mark Paul in third position trying to move away from Kevin Wendt, and then Wendt in turn is going to have to fairly shortly, I would venture, have to start thinking about John Wilson and Ian Craig. Nelson Williams safely negotiating the run on the outside curve on the way in front of Ian Richard Burns. Gives him a good run for Nelson. Going on as well, transferring trying to pull away from Kevin Wendt, who is actually under no particular pressure from John Wilson, who is coming under pressure from Ian Craig, and increasingly Peter Chalice as well. Then we've got the gap back to the Subaru, Ian Froggatt with Stephen Brooks next up. Super little hit, and so they head on towards Montreal, continuing to try and swap positions as at the head of the field. Nick Williamson moving away from Ian Richard Burns, and in fact, if anything, Ian is now slipping back towards Mark Paul, who has got the BMW wound up nicely. Mark Paul moving away from Kevin Wendt, and then there's a sizable gap from Wendt back to John Wilson. Then it's now Peter, so that battle shaping up very nicely. Likewise, we've got a good tussle between Ian Froggatt and Stephen Brooks, as well as Wilson's gone on at Hamilton. So John Wilson goes on the exit of Hamilton. He's lost a place. Peter Chalice is going to lose another one to Ian Craig, or is he? Wilson's got the inside run into Williams, but Craig away from Ian Richard Burns, who has definitely got Mark closer to him this time around than he did last time, as we'll be able to complete the lap. So Williamson, 2 laps completed. Richard Burns, 2.3 seconds back, and yes, fastest lap of the race to Mark Paul, but then Kevin Wendt goes quicker still. So Kevin Wendt is now setting about closing in on that group in front of him with Peter Chalice, 50 of Ian Richard Burns. So Ian Richard Burns is now going to have to start thinking a little bit more defensively to try and keep Mark Paul at bay. And if the pair of them fight amongst themselves, then it's Kevin Wendt, who last round was the quickest man on the circuit, as into the pit lane comes Brian Cox. So Brian Cox during the 2011 season, so he will be very disappointed with that. Running for more than 1.3 seconds now back from Mark Paul, so it will be the Ian Richard Burns, but it's taken that Mark Paul has been able to match it. The pair of them move through the gears with 13.3 minutes left on the clock. The gap between second and third is 1.2 seconds, so that's pretty much identical times, but yes, a much slower lap there from Kevin Wendt, and so he slips back. The fast lap of the race now in the hands of Nick Williamson. In 5th place is number 11, Peter Chalice. 6th place is the Ian Froggatt. In 9th place is the 33 car of Ian Roberts, and then rounding out the top 10 is number 29, Stephen Brooks, and Stuart Herry, 18th and 19th positions respectively for the Class E honours. The field just a little bit dispersed at the moment as we watch some of the gaps amongst the front runners to begin to come down. It's probably fight for second and third that's most likely to change in the top positions at this stage of the race, as they very shortly be arriving into Rundle and Nelson. So here comes the race leader through Rundle, and Nick Williamson building out his advantage over Ian Richard Burns, who has got a bigger advantage than time Mark Paul. So I don't know whether Mark's made an error or something, because he has now slipped into position as he tends to close in on Kevin Wells. Most not doing that, so another fast lap of the race there for Nick Williamson. 2 minutes 3.031. Ian Richard Burns sets his best lap of the race into 2 minutes 3, as opposed to Mark Paul, who comes with the time set by Richard Burns. And then Kevin went another 2 minutes 6 second lap, so he actually continues to slip further back and is beginning to be caught by Peter Chalice, who has just upped his pace to the low 2 minutes and 5 second bracket. So Chalice potentially one to watch as he looks to close down the gaps on the cars in front. Third race of the weekend, and so he is obviously getting to grips with this Snetterton 300 circuit very well, and it's really set up in good stead with regards to podium potential for the RSTC Euro Saloon and Sports Car Championship. So about half race distance through his race, and then we want to take the victory because he has failures of driver, but there's no risk of him tangling with any of the other drivers that has the field at the moment. Slightly slow lap there thus far, and Kevin Benson sets an even slower lap again. So when Frost's back, it's still going to be a very, very tall order for Peter Chalice to make any inroads into Kevin Benson. Frogger closing on Craig, that gap is now down to 1 to 2 seconds, just 1.8 seconds between the pair of them. Race, the time out nowhere for them to relax because it's set straight, very straight, although they're fairly straight. You are slower than Roberts, who is there in the bright red Mitsubishi. So those three cars just beginning to close up on each other as they exit Montreal on towards Palmer, and Frogger, having been in a position to make that move, is now no longer able to do so. Well, the battle still between Andy Jordan, Mark Todd and Ian Jordan is again closer still, because still Mark Todd can't find his way past Andy Jordan's. Andy Jordan defends and keeps Mark Todd at bay, and that brings Ian Jordan back into the mix as well. So those three cars having a good tussles again. Frogger moving to within about half a second onto the tail of Ian Craig. Agostini turning through Hamilton, and Craig just able to build a slight advantage there over Frogger, maybe a 10th of a second or so he gained through Hamilton to close out through what he is quite able to do as they then exit Williams onto Bentley Straight, which should, you would venture, favour the immensely powerful Subaru, as Nick Williamson now well into some of the slower cars. He just laps Nick Booth, the Car C leader, and Williamson setting the fast back of the race on that last lap, 2.840. In third place is still number 38, Mark Paul. There's also 4 Class B honours, and so the gap between them is now 7 seconds. So Kevin Benton's just up to more rapidly than the pair of them are. So the red car of Ian Roberts is on the tail of Ian Craig. And they turn through Hamilton, and is there going to be any way for Roberts finds his way through there? No, he's not, so a slight mistake. Possibly from Ian Roberts, Ian Frogger, 35% names Ian, turn through Oggies and then on towards Williams. So that battle relatively settled, as into the penultimate lap of the race goes the race leader, Nick Williamson. So he's going to be a 10-lap race, and his advantage over Ian Richard Burns continues to grow. There's another fast lap there from Nick Williamson at 2.498, which was also a meter time. Can't be good enough for pole position, and it was a gain of 2 seconds that last lap before he challenged 2 laps to go. That is still potentially on the card. The challenge will be able to challenge Kevin Benton for 4th position between now and the end of the race. Ian Frogger crosses the line in 6th position. 7th place, Ian Craig and Ian Roberts running side by side. Ian Roberts in the Mitsubishi, who looks to the outside of Ian Craig as they arrive in behind Richards, but Roberts gets on the brakes a little bit earlier than Craig, but he still keeps spinning around the outside. And Craig's going to be squeezed through Richards. That's going to be very close as well. Will it be the Subaru, not Subaru, the Mitsubishi or the BMW? It's the Mitsubishi of Ian Roberts that prevails and elevates himself up into 7th position, with then Ian Craig down to 8th. So this has been a great drive from Ian Roberts from somewhere down the grid. He really has just been gaining the places throughout the course of the race. Place is 35. David Pearce, 17th place, number 88, around the field. Stuart Harris, 18th place in car 72, 1.5 minutes left on the clock. So Nick Williamson about to start his final lap of the race here, as he is about to put the lap as well on David Pearce. So he goes, he turns through Richards, no problem there, with in 2nd place the 42 car here, Richard Burns, 8 seconds back. So Williams' car not pierced there by the back marker, causing no problems at all for him as he just begins to move amongst some of the slower traffic. But I don't think he's going to have actually too much more traffic ahead of him, because the Jordans haven't really joined their Clio battle, and then Stuart Calder is running on his own. So Peter Challis sets his best lap of the race. It was 4 seconds quicker than Kevin Bent on that last lap, so we could see a change here between Bent and Challis as they turn through the Hampton Montreal. Kevin Bent will be closed in on as they turn through Palmer. So Challis and Bent running together for 4th and 5th positions, and given the pace that Peter Challis has been exhibiting over the past few laps in Nissan Primavera versus the pace of BMW and Kevin Bent, you would expect the Challis is going to find his way through fairly easily, because there's now just a car length between the pair of them as they accelerate on towards Hamilton. Is Challis going to be close enough to Hamilton, though he's not all about on the brakes into Oggies. Again, Williamson in the moment time just through Coram Curve is the race leader. Nick Williamson as the Clio battle has again reversed itself a little bit, had an error from Mark Todd to Mark Todd. It's back down the order in the Seat. Now the check flag goes out, and it's Nick Williamson who wins the first race of the day for the BRSCC Eurosaloon and Sports Car Championship. 2nd place to Ian Richard Burns in the Ginetta G50, so Ian Richard Burns taking 2nd position, and then 3rd place will go to Mark Paul. 4th position is still absolutely line astern, and it's Kevin Bent and Peter Challis. Now what can Challis do in the Primera to pick his way through Murray's? The answer is not an awful lot. It's going to be a drag race to the line, so Mark Paul takes 3rd, but 4th position is still anybody's race. It's going to be a case of who's got the most forces, and it's going to be Kevin Bent. So Kevin Bent does hold on the final lap of the race, punching the air of delight to take 4th position. 5th place goes to Peter Challis, and 2nd place will eventually go the way of Ian Froggatt in the Subaru, though Froggatt is being caught by Ian Roberts. So Ian Froggatt in the Subaru should hold on. He exits Murray's now as back of the field, and over the line to win Class E is Nick Booth. But yes, Ian Froggatt does hold on for 6th position. Super drive though from Ian Roberts and Brooks, therefore being in a position to challenge on the line, but Brooks takes 9th. In 10th place we will see Andy Hayes has been kept. Nick Hayes has been kept fairly on, it's all raced on really by Andy Thompson, but Nick Hayes has done enough and takes the line down, takes the flag and claims 10th position. Andy Thompson into 11th, and what about the fantastic Clio scrap that we have seen in the early stage of the race? But it has been resolved finally in favour of Andy Jordan, the championship.